We are live. Andrew, welcome back.
Morning. How are you?
Joe, Dorette.
Morning. Hi.
Hi. Are you Dorette?
I'm fine, thank you. You?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Well, I think I'm good.
David, my camera's not working.
Isn't it?
I see you.
Oh, yeah. No,
It
it
says
isn't.
failed to start video camera. I don't know why.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to jump off and come back in? Do you want to how can we help?
Yes.
I'm just going to put
Uh,
the kettle on and
I
get a
might have to
coffee.
restart the computer because it's been doing a few updates.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. I'll be back in a second.
Cool. Good morning, Tom.
hiya, David. You okay?
Changing futures, high intensity caseworker. Wonderful.
That's the one.
Great. It's wonderful having you here. Okay. While I'm putting on the kettle for me, let's see. Is that Anthony coming in? Anthony, you beauty.
How you doing?
I'm good. Nice to see you, mate.
You too.
Hey?
You
It's
too.
you're like a hairy sailor.
I'm not feeling that great, to be honest.
I'm sorry, what, like flu?
Yeah, just whatever's going around, I guess.
Oh God, is there something going round again? It seems to be the story of my life. There's something going around. The, the 90-day cough.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
How
this
you
one,
doing?
that one. Okay. Me, I'm doing all right. I'm
Good.
doing all right. Okay, we're just waiting for Joe to come back in. So just so everyone knows, this is being streamed. And I'm going to ask Tom to read the screen today. If you could just hang on 1 second, Tom. Just let a couple people enter. It's a couple more arriving at the door. Here's Joe coming back. Right. It looks like we've got enough people here. Tom, are you okay to read the
Yep,
recording statement?
no problem. Pre-recording consent. Before we begin recording, I want to make sure everyone is aware and comfortable. This session is being streamed and recorded as part of UCAT LERO's mission to build recovery capital and challenge stigma. Your personal safety and comfort come first. If at any time you would like your contribution or recording deleted, please say so and it will be removed without question. Please remember, take personal responsibility for what you share. This is an adult learning environment, not therapy, mutual aid, or faith-based organisation. If you are happy to proceed, please give a verbal yes or use the chat to confirm your consent to the recording. Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, does everyone say yes?
David, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, James. Can you hear
Yeah.
us?
Yeah, I was just don't know if you could. I've just trying to get on. It's just because I've been busy the last few weeks at work and couldn't get on with everything on.
That's all right. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
There's my fan, Megan. My
Oh,
fan.
Megan's on.
Oh, fuck. You've made my day, love.
That how I'm going to be remembered forever now.
Listen, I've only ever had one fan, so thank you. Hmm. How are you, Megan?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm really sorry I've not managed to get on. I'm in the same boat as Jimmy. Just everything with work sort of gets in the way, and then
It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. The training is designed specifically to align ourselves with where the person is at, because the culture of addiction is so chaotic.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the training is malleable. Is that a clever word to use? Yeah. So basically the training aligns to where people are at. So James, welcome. Do you
Thanks.
like James or Jimmy?
Any? It calls any.
All right. Okay. So direct the accents are going to get thicker and thicker and thicker. The further north we go in England, it gets harder to understand. So don't
Yeah.
worry about it. I don't understand what the fuck they're talking about half the time. I just smile and nod.
Okay, I do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And just so you all know, Dorette is from the Netherlands. Yep. So English is her second language, or maybe third or fourth or fifth. I don't know, but just to also have some consciousness around that, where your people are coming from and what their first language is. Yep. Because the one thing with addiction is it impacts everyone. So like any kind of illness, it doesn't discriminate on your language. Yep. What it does do is different cultures have different ways of dealing with things. Yep. So alcohol and drug abuse is haram in Islamic culture, which means basically it's forbidden or it's not good for the spirit of the soul. And so if somebody's coming from that culture, we need to be mindful about additional challenges that that person might be facing in this kind of westernized, heteronormative, medicalized environment that we find ourselves as coaches, sitting in the disease concept of addiction recovery. Does that make sense? So we're going to be put in that box, and we're going to be seen as peer workers or peer support workers. We are not that. We are way more than that. Yeah. And we are working in the wellness space. Yeah. And this training is about professionalizing your lived experience so you can show up as professionals in the wellness space. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the reason we are streaming this and recording this is so that we get evidence to prove that. We can critique ourselves and to see what we can do better. And we're kind of transparent and open in like, this is who we are, this is what we're doing. And because people that come from a marginalized, discriminated background have to show up extra hard. Yeah. And what I mean by that, so is if you've been through the criminal justice system and you're working with money, people are going to be way more, they're going to scrutinize you a lot more because of your history. Yeah. If you have a history of substance abuse and the stigma is you can't trust a fucking junkie. Yep, and I'm okay to say that because I was one. Yeah, is that to be able to sit with that stigma, we need to kind of double up. So this is our research, this is our evidence, this is how we got here, this is what underpins our work. Yep. And that's also important as to why we have these things recorded in a transparent, open way, because this is a training. Yeah. It's not therapy. However, learning stuff might be therapeutic for us. Does that make sense? So you might go to a psychiatrist and they might teach you breathing techniques for your anxiety. Yeah. And that in itself is therapeutic. But you could also go and see a yogi or something. Yep, or Anthony could kind of teach you that sort of stuff based on his coaching experience, being a professional footballer, or and now he's really gone into the healing space, bringing nice aura. Yeah. So Anthony, will you start the check-in, please, and build the container for us? Those of you that don't know, is Anthony's done the community of practice solo path. So he was somebody that came along and did the training, and that happens on a Tuesday. This path is for people that are working in lived experienced organizations. Yep. And people can come to both. Yeah. So Anthony, build the container, and while you're just don't tag me. In fact, let me check him first. I'm a bit excited and manic. My kokoro zashi is foaming in my mouth, but I'm very pleased to be here and see you all. I've got my favorite fan here. Oh, all right. Anthony, over to you, mate.
Thanks, David. Yeah, we will go around and just check in quickly. If anyone would like to check in first, please, just go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm not really going to say more because I'm not actually feeling that great.
I don't mind checking in first.
Thanks, Tom.
Good to see everybody. Yeah, I'm checking in refreshed. I've been trying to do a bit more exercise at the start of the new year, and I've been going to the gym a little bit, and I was absolutely knackered last night, and I had a nice early night, so I'm feeling really refreshed and looking forward to the training today. I've actually got 2 sessions today, so David will see us twice in one day. But
Yay!
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm ready, and yeah, I'm good. I'll hand over to David.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Checking in good as well. A little bit anxious. It's a start to the new year, but yeah, also starting or trying to start new habits. And yeah, positive. Checking in good. Thank you, Andrew.
Cheers, David. Yeah, I'm well. I think I'm probably just trying to get a little bit more motivated, trying to push that motivation a little bit more with the weather being so bad. Trying to went for a run this morning. It was a bit of a tough ask because it was so dark and cold, but I'm pushing through it, and yeah, I'm good overall. I'm also in the afternoon one as well, so I'll see you there, Tom.
Great.
I'll pass over to Direct.
Thank you. I'm also checking in, yeah, quite relaxed, good. Looking forward for the session and only want to ask you not to talk too fast. I cannot follow it at that way, but if you will keep an eye on that, thank you. And I tag Megan.
Yeah, I'm good. I slept really well last night. Obviously, I started this month with all the intentions of New Year's resolutions, drink more water, exercise more. I'm so far sticking to the drink more water. That's about it. But but no, I'm looking forward to today. And yeah, so I'll pass over to Jimmy.
Oh, hello.
Yep. Go for
Oh,
Jimmy.
sorry. All right. Yeah, I'm doing fine. It's just the same as Megan. It's been busy over the Christmas and that, and looking forward to this new year. And I'm obviously doing a new year's resolution, same as Megan. Actually, we're trying to pack in smoking, so hopefully that goes well. And look, hopefully, but the same as it's this weather as well. It gets us down a bit, like, but still plodding on, still going. And I'm busy waiting for Gen 2 coming as well. That's why I'm in the house at the moment. And I'm not abroad. I'm just catching up on this at the same time, killing two birds with one stone.
Great. Who you tagging?
I can't see on my screen, so I don't know where
Oh,
to
okay. Davide, did you go?
Yes.
Okay. Who hasn't been? Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll choose Joe.
Good
Thanks,
choice,
James.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm checking in good. Just at work at the minute, we've got a bit of a drop-in going on downstairs, so I'm a little bit anxious of being out of that and hoping it just goes well. I didn't sleep particularly well last night, which always puts me on a bit of a uneven keel. But other than that, I'm looking forward to today. I'm feeling good, and yeah, happy to get on with it. I think that's everyone now.
I think there's just me to check it.
Go for it, Anthony.
I am checking in pretty grounded despite feeling like shit, but I'm all right. And yeah, entered my third year of recovery last week, so that
Well done.
feels like a
Well
big
done.
milestone, really. Getting through another Christmas and New Year, it's getting slightly easier.
Great. All right, is that everyone checked in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. So let's just orientate the class. So Dorette, this must be about class number 11 for you.
Just check 12. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, great. Okay, so the first four classes would have been the coaching conversation. So Andrew, this is your second class, yes? Yeah. Okay, so welcome, and you're from the gambling harm space. Yeah. So wonderful. Yeah. So the first four classes are about the headphones, about listening, how to have a coaching conversation where you listen to someone. The next four classes are about continuums. Yeah. Can you see where someone's going? Are they going from use, like normal substance use or normal gambling for fun? Are they doing something normal relationship, something normal work, and has that progressed down to dependence? Yep. Or codependent, independent, interdependence, addiction, harm recovery, abstinence. And what's the fourth one? High well-being, premature death. So when you're talking to someone, when you're listening to them, you want to see how they're doing. And then the next four classes is where Dorette's at, is you start to get an understanding of the system. So addiction just doesn't impact the one person, it impacts the family members and it impacts society. Yep. And Dorette, if you're okay with me saying this, if you're not okay, I'm going to apologize. But Dorette is a family member whose family is in a culture of addiction, because she has a family member that's impacted by addiction, and that really impacts her. Yeah. And so Dorette's come here to learn about recovery coaching for herself, so she can use this skill set to maybe help other family members or other people that are sitting with the panic of, oh my God, what must I do? Is that fair enough, Dorette? Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Yeah. So me as a facilitator, I've been watching Dorette, and the very first class she came to, she was petrified, anxious, nervous, overwhelmed. What am I doing here? How did I get here? Everyone's talking English. It's really a lot. And if I look at Dorette now, where she is 12 weeks in, she's calmer, more relaxed. She was able to say, guys, listen, if you're speaking English, please speak slowly. She was able to voice her needs. Yeah. And for me, Dorrit, that's wonderful progress. Really
Thank
well
you.
done. Super trots.
Dankjewel.
So super trots basically means I'm very proud, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
Proud
Yeah.
of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done, Dorette. So we can see how Dorette has progressed. So Andrew, the most important outcome of the first coaching session is the client, person, whatever it is, comes back for the second session. Yep. So welcome back. We've
Thank you.
obviously done something right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How was your first week at work?
Oh, for me, I've been there since November, so I've been
Oh,
working for a little while. Yeah, so my first week last week. Was just doing the coaching, training, but yeah, I've got up and running this year. It feels like it's been a slower week this week than last week, but yeah, it's a good start. I'm enjoying it.
Okay, great. All right. So James and Megan, you both did the 3-day training in November. Yep. So
Yeah.
wonderful for joining us now. So you went through quite a journey with us where we did 20 hours in classroom in person. How's it been? What's it like being here now?
It's been good. It's good being back. Just like catch up with everybody and like get back into it. Just unfortunately, yes, over the Christmas work done it at the Christmas time and it was just hectic. And it's just nice to be back now to get back into it to finish off the rest of the course.
Great.
Yeah.
Megan?
I think I mean, this is very different to the in-person. Like, neither are like better than the other. That it's just very different, isn't it? Um, I did really enjoy the in-person. I've even though I'm of that generation that is supposed to like technology, I hate it. So like getting to grips with computers and that isn't my strong suit. But I think it's you can take different things when you're in person. Partly it felt a bit more relaxed sort of thing, but I think that was also because I was surrounded by people that I sort of knew, at least I'd seen their faces around and stuff, whereas
Yeah.
a lot of new people. But I think
Yes.
they're both good, you know, they've both got
Sorry,
sort
guys.
of good points to them, and I'm enjoying the online one. I think it's I'm learning a lot, I hope.
Okay. Great. All right. So I just muted Davide. Um, Something's happened. All right. So we've created the container. We've checked in. We're now looking for an agenda. So we're going to go for an hour. We'll take a break. We'll have another hour. What are we going to talk about today? What's emerging in the container?
Isn't that because we're just all talking about where we're all at and if each individual, where we're at in these stages?
Okay. Say more about that. I'm like Dorette. I'm
Because,
thinking, what did he just say?
oh, sorry. It's
No,
because
it's fine, mate. It's fine.
when you were like introducing other people into the, like round, and you were seeing that certain people was like they started from this date, they started from that date, and then asked some of the people I didn't recognise as they were speaking. But when you're introducing, then they were saying that they're doing a Tuesday and then they're going to do an extra thing with you today. So different people's in different like scenarios and different bits of it at a time. So we're all like being speaking around that and letting each other know where we're at in our training.
Okay, cool.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I think is that what you were asking? I don't know.
So what I'm trying to do is find out what today's topic is. And Anthony, you want to come in?
Oh yeah, I was going to say, I guess that's when you find a client, everyone's going to be at different stages in their recovery.
Yeah.
So Anthony, hold the space for a bit, find the topic and bring it out.
Yeah, so I guess, sorry, I guess, when we meet new clients, like as David said, trying to get them back for the second session is kind of, understanding that everyone's on their own path and everyone maybe at a different stage. They might not be in recovery yet. I guess that's what I was thinking, how I could see that translating from how David was introducing us.
So you do a bit of an assessment.
Yeah.
Yep, sit down with a person, kind of assess where they are. Great. Okay, what else? Keep going.
Um, uh, yeah, so we have an assessment, see where they're at, see, I guess, ask them about their systems and their history and, where they are looking to go in these coaching sessions, I guess, their future vision.
Wonderful. So you ask some questions about, so what is it that you want from coaching? Where do you want to go? Yep. So it's forward focused. So where have you been? What's a bit of your history? What are you here today? Why are you here? What's so then you're starting to align yourself with what the I was just at a conference in Ireland. And something that Dot said at the conference is we don't call our people, our citizens, clients because it comes up with a power dynamic. So now I'm sitting here thinking every time I say client, I think, oh no, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Oh, I can't keep up with all this political correct stuff. I really can't. So but I'm willing to try and keep up. So you're trying to work out what it is that that person wants to get. So what is it that you lot here want to get out of this?
I think for me, it's about, for me, I would like to learn to be able to sit comfortably with where a person is at that moment in time, and be okay in that space. Because I think it's sometimes as coaches, I'm guilty of going in and wanting to fix. I think I can see a way forward, and I don't want to project what I think they should do. And it's about taking that time to listen and understand what they want, because perhaps what they want is where people have differences of what they want and what they want to achieve, you know. And I think being able to sit in that space to find out what that person wants, and I think that can take time. I don't think that's something, you know, it, I think sometimes I can sit and maybe almost want to rush that part, you know, and it's about sitting in that space comfortably and listening and seeing where that person wants to go. I don't know how other people feel about that.
Tom, I agree. I think is learning the skills to be able to guide someone from that culture of addiction to the culture of learning and recovery and contribute to them, making some positive changes to their life and just having the right skills to do that. I guess that's why the coach sitting on these is helping because I seem to learn a lot from them.
How was that, Anthony?
Pardon?
How was that?
Yeah, fine. Just trying not to cough.
Oh, okay. All right. It's not so easy holding a container though, huh?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm just not feeling that great today, so I'm doing
Okay.
my best.
All right. Look after yourself, huh?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So the contract here is you guys are learning the skills of recovery coaching and becoming people with professional lived experience. Yeah. So what does that mean? What does lived experience and what does professional lived experience mean?
I think possibly with our experience that we have had, we have developed tools along the way from our experiences and then being able to implement them or uh, show somebody those skills in order for them to get into a culture of recovery. And I think it's the skills we've picked up along the way, which are quite unique skills that not many people have had. And I think that puts us in an excellent place to sort of help another person to get to that culture of recovery.
Okay.
Not sure.
And I think from my experience, I've seen lots of different people in different capacities over the years who have maybe an educational background, and I could never quite relate to them or I'd always just, toss aside what they said. But when I met my therapist who has lived experience, and everyone in the last treatment center I went in was all of lived experience, you can kind of relate. They use their lived experience to help you relate more. And that I think that's when it clicked, being around and being, you know, tret or treated, whatever you would say, by those people with lived experience. So for me, it was very valuable to be around and being helped by people with lived experience as opposed to having a degree or a PhD or whatever, you know, in my experience.
I think I could agree with that. I think
Yeah.
I felt a lot of inferior in active addiction of others. And if I met a professional or somebody like who wasn't like me, I always felt inferior and that would just shut me right off. Whereas I think when we're talking about power dynamics, when David spoke earlier, I think when you meet someone with lived experience or shared similar experiences, that power dynamic sort of balances out. It feels more comfortable in my experience anyway, and I think that's what the uniqueness of having lived experience in this sector has. And I think it's valuable.
I think there's like another level of like empathy there as well. If you can actually go to someone and say, I understand what you're going through and actually mean it, it adds like another level of sort of trust there, and you can build that rapport a lot more as well.
What does professional mean?
Is there someone that's really, really good at what to do?
So
I think
someone
yeah,
go Dorette, go.
I think not getting too emotional attached to the other person.
Okay, so that's having some professional boundaries.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I would
I
also put in
think
there
some
qualified, possibly, if you looked at objectively. Qualified. What that means is quite broad, I understand that. But educated, degree, doctorate, I would class that as professional.
So there's some education around it. Okay. What else?
I think being a professional is someone who is qualified to use that lived experience in order to gain an income from using it in a working capacity.
Say that again, the last part.
It's to use it, using it to gain an income. Their lived
To gain
experience
an
becomes a
income.
tool.
Great. So you're getting paid for your lived experience. Yeah. So an amateur golfer becomes a professional golfer when they get paid for playing golf. Now, that professional golfer might be paid by a sponsor, yeah, like Ping. I think Ping's a brand of golfing equipment, yeah. And then the golfer becomes accountable to the sponsor, so they can't go and play golf with another set of clubs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So when you're employed in an organization to show up with your lived experience, you're showing up in a way that organization is paying for you for that. So Andrew is being paid. You being paid by Epic, Andrew? Yeah. He's being paid by Epic Restart to show up as a professional with his lived experience to improve recovery outcomes for people that have been impacted by gambling. Is that a good summary, Andrew?
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, good. I'm quite impressed with myself as well. It's like, oh, fuck, David, you sound like you know what you're talking about. Okay. All right. So it's really important for role clarity. Why?
I think when you're a professional, there's an expectation of boundaries that we have to hold with working with other people. I mean, I've got a personal recovery life and I've got my work and recovery life, and the two are very different. I don't go to someone else's house by myself. I wouldn't, it's very, very different in the way I behave and the relationship I have with each person.
So there are professional boundaries amongst you and the people that you're interacting with. Yep. All right. There's also professional boundaries with other professionals in the environment that you work with. Yep. So you're working with Changing Futures, which is an organization.
Yeah, we work with people with multiple disadvantages, whether that drug addiction, alcoholism, domestic violence, criminal, homelessness. So there's a mixture of everything.
Okay, and because of that, you've got professional relationships with other professionals.
A lot of councils, yes.
A lot of councils. Okay, so you've got relationships with government organizations.
Yeah,
Yep, and medical organizations.
that's right, yes.
Yep, and charities, domestic violence. Is that a government organization or is that a charity if you were to refer people on?
Charity usually.
Charity. Okay, great. Okay. Nursing. Do you have relationships with
Yes.
frontline nurses?
Yes, we do, especially the alcohol care teams, which are located in our local hospitals. We're very much on first name terms with a lot of them. Yes.
Ah, good. Okay, so you're on first name relationships with the people. Okay. Are the nurses, do they have first name relationships with their patients?
No.
Why
Possibly,
not?
possibly, yes. I would say yes, some of the more frequent visitors, yes.
But how are they taught to show up professionally?
Well, a duty of care to that person. It's a certain show of empathy and compassion, and ultimately it's up to them to help that person recover or get well. So I think that's a sort of expectation that's put on them from training, from learning.
Okay. So I imagine, and I might be wrong, but I imagine patients are kind of allocated numbers and that there's a professional boundary between the patient and the nurse to protect the medical side of things and to protect the professional, the nurse, for example, in their role. So if they were to build personal relationships with everyone on the ward and those people kept dying, yep, it might impact that person in their professional role. And those emotions might come in and impact the way that they are providing a duty of care. Does that make sense? I just want us to start to get an idea of the system that we find ourselves in. Yeah. So Tom goes out to complex needs people. He uses his lived experience to build relationship and rapport with people, calling them by the first name. They knows what the dog's name is. They know the chaos of the past, whatever. He takes them to a hospital. Yep. He's got a first name relationship with the nurse. Yep. And then the nurse has professional training to show up in a different way. Does that make sense? And that might cause tension in the system. Yep. And it might trigger Tom's experience of working in the institution when he was on his lived experience journey. Yeah. Does that make sense, Tom? Yeah.
When you talk about professionalism, obviously we're encouraged to be authentic and be genuine with our approach, but there's still a line that we have to to follow, and it's like a lot of safeguarding raises, and when we raise safeguardings, that can reflect that can impact relationships we have with them people. But that is our professionalism, duty of care that we have to. Obviously, when we talk about my personal life, do I go about raising safeguards with people who I meet? No, I don't. But with my professional life, I've got to record incidents. I've got to record certain things that possibly said, and sometimes that can warp the relationship at times because you build that trust, and then maybe we have to inform a housing that they've taken drugs on the property or anything like that. So like having that balance of professionalism and lived experience can be difficult at times to hold that relationship.
Incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult.
I think by acting as in a professional capacity, you try and adhere to a code of conduct or ethics or values of who you're working for as such. Whereas I guess an example is when you go to a 12-step meeting and someone gives you unsolicited advice as a fellow, as opposed to when you're a professional, is that you're working to a strict set of ethics for yourself and whatever LERO or organization you're working for. There's more process and systems involved.
Okay, so just so you guys know, as part of your training here and certification here, there are a code of ethics that you will adhere to if you're a professional recovery coach. We have a code of ethics that people, and one of them would be like, don't have sex with your clients. I mean that's kind of pretty obvious. Don't borrow money from them. Don't get into, but the boundaries can get very blurred at times. Yeah. And especially when you're showing up in multiple roles. So just to give you another really complex example, yeah, in South Africa, we have a treatment facility that is an adult treatment facility. Yep. And constitutional law, which outranks, which is more important than civil law. Yeah, it says to us we are not allowed to treat children in our clinic. However, if a child shows up at our clinic in a vulnerable state, we have a duty of care to look after that child. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's sometimes been very complex situations where we've had to assess as a team, what the fuck are we going to do here? This teenager has rocked up. They are very, very unwell. They need help. What are we going to do to address this situation? And sometimes there's all sorts of professional tension there. Does that make sense? And then people in the system start competing. How can you do that? And why did you do this? And that. Does that make sense? Yeah. How's his class going? Where's he gone? Andrew?
Yeah, it's good. It's one of the things I'm wanting to pick up on myself because when you've got lived experience, your instinct is to help by any means as such, and you have to draw that back, don't you? And have to bring it back to like putting your boundaries in place and maybe use other organisations to be able to help them as well. So work in partnership with others. So yeah, it's really interesting to hear it all and hear other people going through the similar dilemmas as well.
Okay, are you enjoying the training?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, cool. All right. Dorette, how are you doing?
I'm also good.
Yeah, are you enjoying it? Are you understanding everything? And
Now everything is much, isn't it?
Okay.
No, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you share a bit of your experience of being a family member in the Dutch system?
hmm Um, like when my family member got into a clinic, and we as family members were lost, got nothing, and I've been searching for help path. And when you go to a normal psychologist, I don't know what the right word is, you don't get any connection because they don't understand how you feel. This addiction is, yeah, not much people understand how it is. And yeah, I've been searching for a long time because I wanted help. I didn't think I could get out of it alone, and then I found a group of family members, and I joined them. I still join them every week, and it is just the connection. You don't have to say much, but people understand what you are going to, and that's a great help for me. So that's yeah, that's my experience, lived experience.
Wonderful. Thank you. It cracks my heart open, Dorette. I just thank you so much for that. It really, when you spoke about what moved me was your family member went for treatment and there was no help for the family. Yep.
No.
And there's it's like the family member gets all the attention in addiction, and then they
hmm
get all the attention in recovery, and the family are kind of left behind just to fucking sort their shit out. And then when Dorette then went to a psychiatrist, a professional, her experience was the relationship was, I'm going to say aloof, distant, clinical.
hmm
Yep. So that left Dorette feeling isolated and lonely. Yep.
Definitely lonely. Yeah.
Definitely lonely. Okay. And now Dorette is part of a group of other family members that feel that similar loneliness, and she's able to be a
hmm
part of that and to get a sense of belonging, a sense of
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. So now systemically, we're able to help the person that's really suffering, which is the family member. Does that make sense to everyone? And when I say does that make sense, it's not like I'm not questioning your intellect. It's my anxiety around wanting people to just kind of realize that shit, there's a whole lot of people that are getting left behind here that we could really, really help. And if we can give some attention to that, it might improve the whole system. Because the system is filled with people that want to help. But often it gets lost on people that don't want to be helped or don't need to be helped. Is that making sense to everyone? Yeah? Okay. Joe, how are you doing, mate?
Yes, I'm doing good, thank you.
How's the drop-in going?
Well, the door keeps going, and I'm wondering who it is coming in, but it sounds like it's going all right, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What have you learned this morning?
Uh, well, just listening to Dorette about family members and that, it makes me think of my own experience and how bad it must have been for my family at the time. And I don't even remember it crossing my mind at the time. Like it must be a struggle for them. So it makes me feel a little bit sad, for want of a better word. Um, but I've been in recovery for 3 years now, and I think that's the best apology I can give to them. So yeah.
So listening to Direct's story brought your awareness to how your past behavior might have impacted them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So in a culture of addiction, it's very narcissistic. It's very self-centered. It's very kind of like, fuck, I've got to score. I've got to use you. And this isn't a criticism. It's just an observation. Yep. And then getting into recovery, that behavior comes across. I've got to get to a meeting. I've got to phone my sponsor. I've got to go and help someone. You don't understand. Da, 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 da. And often the family members are thinking, and I know from my own experience with my father, he said, David, when you're in addiction, you were mad. When you got into recovery, you were bonkers. Yeah. So my same behavior kind of went across that, like, kind of headstrong, fuck, I've got to do this, like, and I was still very selfish. In fact, I still am. When I'm passionate about something, it's like, fuck everyone else. So, yeah. Did I share too much personal information there? Or was it just a little bit was it the right sort of amount?
Think you made your point, so that's good.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. So the other thing with lived experience is you don't want to flood people with your story. Yeah, it's being discerning in what you give out. And then to also understand how your story might be impacting the other person. Davide, how you doing, mate? You've got that frown where your eyebrows come together and you're like, you're muted, mate. I had to mute you because there was some background noise going on. Come back. Do you know how to unmute? There we
Okay,
go.
mate. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the being alone part, the isolation, especially going through recovery. When I was going through recovery, just that loneliness, the isolation, being alone, being not wanted, being, pushed aside. Like, you've got a problem, you sort it out. And I think that's where I feel, in this situation where, helping and being involved, especially now with my, as you say, we shouldn't call them a client, or let's say my student. Okay, he's on his own now, and it's just, how can I say? I always got so much. I always think so much, but I can't express myself. It's just being there for that person. Just just making him aware that he's not alone. That there is somebody for him here. That's right here by his side. And any time that he needs to talk, because I mean, when you're going through recovery, it doesn't just happen over a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I'm sitting with my client now or my student now. We're in the third month, and you only start learning things. It starts becoming more apparent after 3 months. I'm just learning how fragile, how sensitive, and everything is. And the most important thing is being there for going through, especially when that person feels lonely, and I can relate to that. So yeah, yeah. From that side,
You've
I
got a
think
big
it's.
heart, huh?
Yeah, I'll try. Yeah.
Yeah,
So just being there.
but it sounds like you're being quite impacted by this.
Uh, impacted in a positive way, yes. Not
Yeah.
in.
Like you've got some strong feelings here.
Yes, and I've just seen the process, and every day it's a positive day, and I see he wakes up in the morning, he's down, he's out, And then gradually through the day, start building up his confidence, his hope, and it's all just communicating, chatting, talking, and
So
you know,
so so you're and I'm going to leave it here, and then we can take a break. Yeah. But I just want you to become aware of the part of you that's getting attached here.
mm,
And if this person was to, God forbid, touch wood, yeah, was to pass away, that's going to have an impact on you.
yeah, I'm sure, yes, it will.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Okay, I
mm,
just want to bring that into the container and
mhm,
to just kind of like the lived experience, like working with someone, you build relationship.
mm. Yeah, I think as the famous saying goes, a friend in need is a friend indeed. And I think sometimes you need more than just a psychiatrist or a doctor, or you need somebody that's compassionate, that can feel, it's empathy and try and really understand.
Shit, and I thought that saying was a friend with weed is a friend indeed. Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's take a what's the time?
5
No,
2.
Okay, should we come back at 5 past? Yeah,
yeah.
Joe can go and see how the drop-in's going with all the doors and
No, I'll be
what's
hiding up here, David.
okay, great. All right, see you all at should we say 5 past?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's 9 minutes. All right, see you in 9 minutes. Bye.
Ciao.
So, James, I see you're back.
Oh, sorry, could you hear us now?
Yeah, but I can hear you.
Oh, I'm just trying to sort the laptop, see if I could get it on there, but I couldn't, so I just have to put it up with the phone. That's all right.
Okay, no problem. No problem. I think we've got about a minute left.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, I'm not going to ask you how you're feeling because I'm sure you're feeling terrible. And whenever anyone asks you how you're feeling, it reminds you about how terrible you are feeling.
No, I'm not actually feeling too bad. I'm just congested now.
Okay. Right. Well, let's go. It's 5 past, almost. Well, let's kick off. Who'd like to build the container? Dorette, would you like to build the container?
Yes, I will. I'm after the last hour. I find it quite challenging. Yeah, to stay professional is not the right word, but yeah, I don't not get too emotional attached to your client is also not the right word. I think that's quite challenging. So lots to learn. And I take David.
Yeah, like Dorette says, yes, emotional. You don't want to get too emotionally attached. Obviously, I mean, a lot of boundaries as well, but I mean, boundaries, they all, I would say, student or client specific. Not everybody, is the same. And then obviously setting boundaries without offending, I would say. not offending anybody, setting the boundaries. So setting boundaries in a very tactful way, I would say, without stepping into anybody's territory. Obviously, concern, especially when a person's going through detox, a person's very sensitive and emotional. So you've got to be very careful how you set your boundaries there, I'd say. Back to Andrew.
David, yeah, I'm all good. There was something that Tom mentioned, I think it was, where about potentially having to around safeguarding, I guess, and having to potentially break the confidentiality due to safeguarding. I've always sort of put that in place and mentioned it at the start, but I haven't had to do it yet. So I'd be interested to sort of know a bit about maybe challenges people have had around that, and yeah, learn a bit more about that as the weeks go on. But yeah, I'm all good. A lot better than I was earlier. So yeah, I'll pass over to Megan.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm checking them well. I love that we're talking about boundaries today. That it has a special place in my heart, boundaries, because I think many years ago I used to be a carer and I didn't know what professional boundaries were. I got way too involved and I would end up burning myself out. And obviously in care you lose a lot of clients, people. So I've had to do a lot of work around that as I've got into recovery about setting those professional boundaries, and I'm really proud of myself and how far I've come. So I like to talk about professional boundaries. I find it really interesting. But yeah, checking in good, refreshed. And I will pass over to Joe.
Yeah, I'm checking in all right. I think just talking about professional boundaries made me think of specific examples like when we get this quite often, someone will come in quite a heightened emotional state and possibly threaten to hurt somebody else, like another member of our community, and to switch from sort of being a friend and mentor to then saying, look, listen, mate, if you say that, I'm gonna have to call the police, and it changes the dynamic within a couple of seconds, and then you try and change back, and that's something I find really, yeah, I'm still working on it, but it's something that has to be done. But yeah, that's just what I was thinking about. The James, thank you.
Yeah. Mine was just when we were talking about how selfish we were to people in the family, and that I just didn't realise how selfish I was, to be honest. I never realised that, and like I never thought of it in that way. I was thinking that all the times I used to keep asking them for money and things like that, and then how I was like letting the family down. I didn't realise that until we were talking about it today, so it hit me that a bit. As it goes for the other thing, obviously, yeah, we've got to set our boundaries, because if we're getting too close to, like, we kind of get too close to not clients, but people who we're with and we would like trying to pass our experience over to, it's because we've got to realize, like, after seeing that person, we have other people, other individuals who we have to see. So we don't want to keep on thinking, having other people's problems like still stuck in our head. We have to shut off that one and move on to the next one, because we're not going to put the full concentration on each individual if we keep thinking about a certain person all the time. I think I might have said that a bit wrong. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is basically when we're talking out thinking we're doing a professional and we're passing on what we've learned. And when that person actually leaves or goes back home and things like that, we have other clients we'll have to see. So their scenarios are different situations what we're in, which we've got to like understand where we can't get too close to each individual. We've got to put them boundaries in place.
Okay. Who hasn't been other than Olivia? Anthony and then Tom. Okay, Anthony, you go first and then Tom.
Yeah, I'm feeling quite grounded, and I guess from the first session, I just learned so much in person on these calls rather than reading the online manuals. I think it's good to learn about, the ethics and the system of being a professional, which is it's been informative. So I'm glad to be here.
Thanks,
Tom?
Anthony. Thanks, Anthony. I'm really enjoying the content today. Really enjoyed the topics of conversation and especially about professional boundaries. This week I've had two really good results, and two of the people I've been working with, citizens, have actually went to rehab. And these people have put loads of time and an effort, and it's sort of come to an end now. And they've went into this service, and that's them in. And I feel like I really want to just find out how they're doing, and it's like my job's done. I've got them to that place, and I feel a bit, there's a hole miss. It feels a bit empty. Like I was thinking this morning,
Oh,
I wanted to
Tom.
message the facility manager and just say, just checking in how such and such doing. And it's like, I feel really, it feels uncomfortable a bit, like, but it's really good, but I just feel a bit attached, and I feel a bit like, I've I've moved on now.
Oh, Tom, that's lovely that you can share that. Yeah, it's really, I love your humanity there, and that you're able to just kind of own it and understand that you can't do it. Yeah. Oh, I just want to see. Oh, wonderful, Tom. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Good morning, Olivia.
Good morning.
Nice
Um,
to see you. You in a car?
yeah, I missed this morning. Sorry about that. I was taking somebody that I was in rehab with 2 years ago. I'd taken him to a detox place in Maidstone this morning, so I've just dropped
Great.
him off. Um, yeah, so I spent an hour and a half in the car listening to. It was a lot, so I just thought I'd get on this and maybe I'll calm down a little bit because it's
Okay.
just constant verbal like. So yeah, it was just like, yeah. So,
How are
but
you
I got him there.
feeling?
I feel good because I can see he's going to make a change in his life. Because he
So
tried to,
you feel good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
I feel, yeah. It's a good thing to do. He tried to do it Tuesday on himself, but he had a nightmare on trains. So I said, well, I'm going to take you then because you need to
Okay,
go.
great. So you did some sober companion stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So on the 16th of 17th of February, I'm offering a 2-day free training for sober companions. It's an in-person training here in London. So if anyone here wants to come to that, please feel free to come to both days, to one day, to half a day. Yeah, we dance with the
Um,
mess here.
thank you, David.
Yeah, so that's the 16th and 17th of February. And it's specifically around defining boundaries and roles and that sort of thing. So Olivia, you've stepped in there and you've done some sober companion stuff, and you've sat in a car and listened to somebody go, yeah, 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 yeah. What Tom has done essentially is a bit of sober companion stuff, holding somebody to get into treatment. Now he's sitting with that.
Mm.
So it's talking about how do you show up, how do you maintain boundaries, what is the role, where are the lines, where do you operate as a sober companion when you're taking people internationally? Are you like, are you able to navigate passport control and all that stuff? Or you've got somebody that's kind of maybe a bit wobbly? What happens if they're carrying substances that are illegal, things like that? How do you protect yourself? How do you protect the the companion, the person that's chaperoning you? What are the legal requirements? How do you take someone here locally to a GP, to a detox facility, whatever? Just so that's what the workshop's about. And I needed to plug it. So you've just given me a good opportunity to plug it, Olivia. Well done. Okay. Yeah, and the reason it's free is I want to really professionalize lived experience. So it's an awareness marketing thing, because lots of people say, okay, well, we need lived experience. What is lived experience? And then they dump people that have lived experience into situations that they're not trained for. Yeah. So David is in a situation now where he's really grown attached to the person that he's working with. Yep, and it's impacting him. So Davide needs some care around this. That's why he's on this training. So I really hope you're getting the care that you signed up for. You started the same day as Dorette, didn't you, Davide?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but Dorette was an hour ahead of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Davide, like 10 weeks on, 12 weeks on, whatever.
13, I think. Yeah.
13. Okay, well done. Okay. How are you different from when you first arrived?
Different. I've learned a lot, especially with it's not. Yeah, it's about your lived experience, but I've learned that it's more about the other person. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about their well-being. It's about their journey. It's about supporting.
I get all that, but we learned stuff, and if we were to reflect that to ourselves, to our own personal journey, how have we changed? How have you changed? So, for example, when I learned about listening, I found I was able to listen to my kids a lot more. Yeah. When I became aware of my selfishness, yep, it's like all of a sudden I realized how I impacted my family members around me. Yep, that's a personal journey. And part of your professional certification is doing a personal journal.
Yeah.
So, how have you changed over the past 13 weeks? What have you noticed?
What have I noticed? I've become more. Okay, especially with boundaries, setting boundaries, understanding, being more empathy, having more empathy, understanding to listening to understand, listening to hear, not listening to talk. Become stronger as well, I would say, within myself, more confident. Yeah, David, I think it's also from somebody else. I'm learning as well. Their experiences, so it's helping me in my journey as well.
So, David, if it's what I remember from our first call is when you came on the call, you spoke about how you'd been impacted as a child by your father's drinking and his death, his sudden
Yes.
death, and how that impacted you as a young man, and it impacted your mum and the family business, and there was a lot there. It's you brought a big story to the container. Do you remember that?
Yes. I think the biggest thing of all is self-forgiveness.
Okay.
Just forgiving myself, forgiving my parents, and not dwelling on the past, moving on. That's one of the major things, and not withdrawing, not holding back.
And how does it feel that I remembered your story?
How does it feel? I feel worth something.
Okay.
I feel valued.
It
Where in
feels
the past I didn't feel I didn't feel valued. I didn't feel it was important to anybody but myself.
yeah. So now you feel valued.
Mm.
What is possible?
What is possible? My confidence is grown.
Okay.
Well, today, I would say move on more easier without grudges, without looking back. Just understanding more.
What's the feeling in the container right now? And that's not for David, it's for the rest of the people in the container. When you look out at your screen, what would you say the feeling is in the container?
Empathy.
Empathy. There's a feeling of tenderness here, huh? That's what my projection is. Megan?
Hi. Are you asking what the feeling is in the container?
Yeah. What's your take on the container, the whole thing?
I think, yeah, I agree with Anthony. It's like a feeling of empathy. I think it's sort of the way that Davide was talking. I think we can all sort of relate to. I think we've all sort of. I'm hoping anyway. Me anyway. I can't speak for anyone else. Coming to these sort of things, it is sort of building confidence. I think it's sort of securing that, like that I do actually know what I'm doing. I feel like in this line of work, me personally, and I've heard a few people say they get that imposter syndrome of like, can I do this job sort of thing? And by coming to these and speaking as a group, it makes it a lot clearer. I hope for everyone that we do all know what we're doing and like we are in the right job and we can sort of do that, like do it. Yeah.
Thank you. Dorette, did you want to come in there?
I feel I sense a lot of strength in all you people. We all have our own story, but we all yeah came out of bad periods and try to make a positive thing towards other people. I'm saying it perhaps a bit in not good English, but that's how I feel. I feel a lot of strength in all of you.
Say it in Dutch. Talk to us in Dutch.
Dit is een groep met hele sterke mensen. Ja, sterke wil om door te gaan, om anderen te helpen. Dat voel ik.
Thank
Ja.
you. Okay. Tom.
Even if I didn't understand that, I could feel the sincerity in it.
It's lovely, huh?
Isn't it a strange thing?
It's lovely. Body language. And so the reason I asked what's the feeling in the container is that level 3 listening. Yeah. So that if you're working with a family or something, you get to realize, they might bring the person that's in crisis and then the family members there to be aware of the level 3, the us, the relationship, the tension that might be happening. Yeah. So Tom, how do you think your person that's in treatment might feel about you caring for them?
I would hope to think they would like it, and I feel that they might have similar sort of feelings, because, like I said, there was a lot of intense work and working together to get to that position, but they have moved on to that next step in their growth, and I think I would encourage them to keep looking forward, and don't look back. Maybe reflect and appreciate what's the work that's went in, but I think they are a lot more optimistic now. I think.
Okay.
And I think it's just me that's feeling a bit empty nest syndrome.
So what do you think nursery school teachers do at the end of the year when their little nursery school children go off to primary school? How do you think they cope with that?
I think it becomes their norm. So it's sort of learned over time. I guess in early, if they were new to the profession, I think it'll be quite difficult. But I think with time and experience, there's a sort of growth within inside that happens, and I think they'll get to appreciate. They'll look to the future and say, "Oh, we've got other people coming in, and we can have that journey again." Maybe it's different perspective.
And if you were a parent and you were sending your child to the nursery school, and the nursery school teacher at the end of the year said, "Yep, okay, on you go now," and was kind of quite, it's all part of a day's work, how would you feel about that?
I think it would definitely be uncomfortable. I think I think you would expect a little bit more empathy, encouragement, because I think endings are important in all types of life, you know, and I think the way we end relationships, the way we end lessons, I think it's important to sort of summarize and talk about the achievements, possibly the growth that's been developed, not just right, see ya.
It's interesting, huh? So my ex-wife, she was all she ever wanted to do was own her own nursery school. Yeah. So when we got married, we started this nursery school in our house. Yeah. And so every morning we wake up and these mothers would come, mainly mothers, and drop off their kids at the nursery school, and the kids would go, and the mothers would panic, oh my, and there was always this tension. And then when the mothers would leave, eventually the kids would calm down and they'd get on with morning circle, and they'd like, and they'd play their games, and fucking nursery school war zone would start. You know, the kids are like pull each other's hair or steal their lunches or just, toddler rules. And then the parents would come at the end of the day and pick them up. And I'd come home from work, and my ex-wife would say to me, "I just wish these fucking parents would drop their kids off and go. Because the more they hang around, the more anxiety it creates, the more tension it does. And you've got these neurotic mothers that like it, and the environment builds up and it gets tense." Well, let me tell you something. When Uka became a mother, and she started dropping Luca, my son, off at school. Oh my God, she was worse than those mothers. So she had all the knowledge of what to do as a nursery school teacher. But when she became a mother, she forgot all that stuff. And I didn't know who this person was, because before she was kind of professional and boundarized as a teacher. But when she became a mother, the mother archetype overtook her personality, and all that wisdom kind of went out the window. It's like, but you don't understand, he's my boy, and I'm his mum, and I know best, and I know what's best for my boy, and I'm a teacher, and I know these things, what's best. Yeah. And I always think that's a wonderful lesson around boundaries, professional boundaries and roles and enmeshment and roles, and how things can bleed in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, can you show some appreciation, please? Because I thought that's fucking wise.
Well, I was actually your ex-wife because I was a childminder for 20 years. So I had kids come in, the mothers would create a lot at the doorstep, and I'm just like, just give me your kid and I'll go in and everything be fine. And then when it happened, when I had my own children, I was like, oh, my baby. And then I turned into an alcoholic, and then I was like, oh God, that's a different story.
Okay, so
Oh,
just
yeah.
for the record, everyone, Olivia isn't my ex-wife, but there are a lot of similarities in the role. Yeah. Okay, and that's one of and let's just move on a bit to kind of rehab romance. Yeah, where often people come together and they go to rehab and they fall in love with people because lots of reasons, but there's a lot of identification, a lot of, oh yeah, that was like that for me. And there's a lot of bonding and intimacy that happens in these environments. And people don't really want to focus on what went wrong. They kind of want to do stuff that distracts them from the personal work that they need. So a lot of people fall in love in rehabs or these environments. Yep. And then that plays out as well. So as kind of professional lived experience coaches, we need to kind of understand those dynamics are at play as well. So how many patients in hospital fall in love with their nurses? A lot.
I was going to say, you can't put an answer to that, can you? Because you don't know.
But it happens a lot, huh?
I would have thought so, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there was two relationships from other people who I met in treatment in 2024, and
Yeah.
both of them have ended so terribly.
Yeah. Rehab romance is it's a thing. So as professionals running a facility like that, what would you do?
I think that's a big boundary. That's a big boundary. That's because David, because everybody's, it's around your emotions and your thoughts, and when you're going through recovery, you're not in a situation or position to even think of a relationship. Yeah, I mean, you got to get well, you got to get better, you got to move on, you got to um, uh, concentrate and build yourself, your own emotions, your thoughts. You have to rebuild your whole mind thinking, your whole life. And to get involved in a relationship at that time, I think it's a big boundary now from my
So
side.
when students go to university, yeah, do you think they run off and shag each other?
Yeah,
Definitely.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty
Huh?
much.
Okay. Should they be kicked out of university?
No.
Why not?
Because they're not doing anything wrong with that, really.
That's I
So
think
what's the
just,
difference between a university and a clinic?
I think it's unethical
What,
in a clinic.
why?
It's I don't know, because like I said, you're concentrating on yourself, you're rebuilding yourself. I mean, you're there to recover. Uh, yeah, and I suppose also the age counts as well. I mean, when you're at university, you're young, right? Oh well,
Okay,
oh well.
okay, so
Come on.
it's all right for the kids to do it, but our grown adults aren't.
I think
Yeah,
people who are in
I think,
treatment are classed as possibly vulnerable,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
vulnerable people,
absolutely.
and I think
That's the word, yeah.
vulnerable people. So I think maybe that's why it's not encouraged to do that. But when you look at relationships on the whole, I think it helps shape a person. I think we learn by failed relationships, we learn by good relationships. So, but in an environment of recovery, I think vulnerabilities are at risk. We don't know backgrounds of people's experiences, whether sexual violence, assaults, whatnot. And I think that's possibly why it's not encouraged in treatment.
Yeah. Join the dating site.
Gets complex, huh?
Mm.
So
It
what
happened in my rehab, and the two of them were kicked out.
Okay, great. And how did that work out?
Well, the people they were kicking the girl out and not the man, which is quite weird.
Oh, okay, that's feels fair.
Yeah, so then we were like, the other clients were like, no, you're going to kick one out, you're going to have to kick both of them out. So they did eventually kick both of them out. So, and obviously they're not together now, you know. But
Yeah.
one's still
That's-
in recovery, the other one's not. She's gone off the rails again, which is sad. But it does happen, yeah.
That's a big no-no.
So you got some strong feelings here, Davide. That's a big no-no. All right. So
Yeah.
let's
Okay.
let's kick somebody out of treatment. Yep, and then they go back to their environment where they were even more vulnerable that you saved them from.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Yeah. No, obviously it's not a good thing.
So what happens in old age homes?
They're all shagging.
Are they shagging? Okay, so yeah, so OAP meets other OAP and they do the deed, and do they get kicked out?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, David? Are you saying that they shouldn't be kicked out? Is that where you stand on it?
So my personal feelings I'm trying to put aside, yeah. But what I'm trying to think about is the culture of the organization that you're creating. Yep. And whenever there's a punitive approach, people do what they're told not to do. So if you go into an environment and you say, do not have sex with anyone here, you're creating an environment where people will go off and have sex. If you go to the fellowship and you tell people not to 13th step, they're all over each other.
Mm.
I think if there's relationships in the treatment setting, though, I guess it's hard for those individuals to focus on their their own wellness and their own health. I think from my experience, when I'm in that early stage, it becomes all consuming and a big distraction from what is happening in actual real life.
So what about students having intimate relationships with their professors at university?
I think that's an obvious crossover of boundaries there, because they're providing a service, and I think when we look at all
What
these,
service is being provided?
a professor who is
Yeah.
teaching somebody is providing education. It's
Yeah.
An authority figure, isn't it? So there's that power difference.
And when we were talking about old people's homes as well, there's sort of that clinical side where once again it's a service, it's a profession. But when you look at students who are going out on the lash in Freshers Week and they're doing whatever, I think that's fair game.
That's fair game.
I think there's professional ethics, like a teacher and student relationship,
The
as
power
opposed,
dynamics.
yeah. Well, I guess if it was like a therapist in treatment and a client or resident, whereas two residents is, you know, I think it's very different from that professional to client or student or carer to OAP, or there's the ethics involved, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like I guess in my career what like I work in finance, there's professional things that I have to adhere to, like, fraud and money laundering and all of that stuff. And I think, it's you have to live by those standards, otherwise there's there's a price to pay, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's your homework, everyone. Find out what the ethics are in your manual and then go over them, the UACT Code of Ethics, and see if you believe in them and that you're happy to subscribe to them. Because, like Anthony has just spoken, he works in the world of finance. He's been trained in that. He's a professional and he abides by that code of ethics. He's under pressure to do that. And the one thing with coaching is it's an unregulated industry. Yeah, where the Financial Services Board is a regulated industry. Yeah, the world of clinical psychology is regulated. Yeah, so we are unregulated. However, our training is accredited, yeah, to a certain level, and our students subscribe to our own code of ethics. Does that make sense? So even though the world is unregulated, we are saying inside ourselves, this is how we do this. And then we are accrediting lived experienced organizations like Recovery Connection, Sankalpa. Treatment centers that we work with need to be registered facilities. Yeah, we work with accredited organizations or people or organizations that follow our form, our kind of ethos. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I,
it's not fucking perfect, but at least it's something.
I guess a question I have, David, well, I have two. So if we're not calling them clients, what are we calling? What's the other word that they said at the conference?
So I can't remember, but
Yeah,
Tom refers to citizens.
or community members.
Yeah, we say community members, and that.
Yeah,
Community members.
Megan says Recovery Connection say community members.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
say coachee. Yep. If I'm
Okay.
coaching someone, they're my coachee.
All right, that's cool. And then I
That's
guess my
cool.
my second question, do we have to, when say if you get a new community member you're working with or a coachee, is provide those ethics so they have visibility of, the ethics and the professional standards as such that you're sticking to?
So how are you going to do that?
Well, I'm not sure. That's why I was just asking.
Okay. So how I handle it, yep, is when I'm going to be coaching someone, I explain what coaching is and what it isn't. So it's not therapy. I'm not a social worker. I'm not a sponsor. I provide role clarity. I don't get caught up in my own anxiety around trying to explain what all the ethics are. I'd rather just kind of, this is my role, this is what we're doing, what would you like to talk about? And if it comes up in the agenda, then I can explore it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, David, I think I've fallen in love with you. Can we get married? Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm honored that you said it. And I'm afraid it's very flattering, but my code of ethics doesn't allow it. Yep, and I'm a professional around that. Let's rather explore like what's going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 Once I get over the embarrassment and think, oh fuck, how am I going to navigate this one? And they're going to kick the door in and arrest me and saying I'm unprofessional and da 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 da. And people, we must be careful out there as well, huh?
Yeah.
Because we can get set up by some very pathological behavior at times.
David, sorry, I've just got to steer. I'll have to shoot off because the Gen 2 is going to be gas checks in mine. I'll have to shoot off. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. I think James said he needs to
No,
check out.
I'll have to go because Gen 2 is doing the gas checks on my home. Like me, the landlord's doing the checks on me gas checks. So I will have
How
to
are you
go now.
checking out, James?
Yes, I'm checking out great, and it's been much appreciated being back in the group again. And I've missed it a couple of times, but it's been great.
It's lovely having you here, James.
Yeah. The
All
same
right,
time
mate.
next week, yeah?
Yeah, good.
Right, thanks a lot
Wonderful.
now.
All right,
Thanks,
mate.
thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Like my humor is often inappropriate. And the things I say, if it was written down, I'd get into a lot of trouble because it can get taken out of context. And a lot of my humor is a mask to cover my anxiety, but it's also a tool to talk about some complex topics. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Being tactful.
Hey?
Being tactful.
Yeah, sometimes. And I'm going to remove James. It's not personal, James. I'm just going to jump in and help you. I got kicked out of class today. David kicked me out of class. I was there, and the gas man rocked up, and next thing I know, he kicked me out. Because then he said I speak funny. And that is true. I did kick him out of class, and I did say he speaks funny, and I don't understand. And the reason I said that was to try and make it easier for Dorette, who's got a second language, to feel part of, and that I also struggle, being a South African man, with a thick North English, what's it, a Newcastle accent? Is it Geordie accent?
Sunderland, Mackham.
Pardon?
Sunderland accent. He's a Mackham.
Okay, so I wouldn't know if it was a Sunderland accent or not. I just know it's like, it's like, fuck. Yeah, next minute I'm going to get into trouble for calling him a Geordie. All right. Okay, so let's start with Joe with what we've learned today. So now we're going to start to extract the learnings of today's container. Joe?
So I've learned a lot around professional boundaries, and it's made me feel good to hear other people experience the same things as me. Because there are times when I question whether or not I'm in the right job and doing the right things, and it's nice to hear that other people, well, it's not nice to hear, but it's nice to share the experience. Another thing I learned was when you said, how's the feeling in the container at the minute? I was curious as to what it is that feels like that because it's over Zoom, isn't it? And why it feels like that. So it's interesting that the feeling can change even though we're all just faces on a screen. I was wondering why that happens. But yeah, are we doing the checkout as well?
No, not yet. Well, how are we doing for time? All right, yes, so check out as well. Good call, Joe.
Yeah, I'm checking out good. It's been good. My anxiety did peak about 10 minutes ago because I had an urgent call from somebody, so I had to quickly redirect them to someone else. But other than that, I'm feeling good. And I'll tag Davide.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, feeling as well. Uh, understanding more. Yeah. Boundaries. How to set boundaries. How to explain your boundaries. Not with your own anxiety, I would say. Yeah. Like David was saying, sometimes our humor is mistaken for an insult. But yeah, it's the way we say things. It's the way we approach, and the way how tactful we are, especially in setting up our boundaries. Yeah, but otherwise, I think this week has been a better week for me. I'm learning more and more every week, becoming more and more confident. I'm trying to get out of my shell more and more. But yeah, absolutely learning more, and especially like Joe was saying, when there's tension, when everybody's quiet, and then we are faces in the screen, but I can feel the tension at times. Yes, but yeah, thank you so much. Checking out. I'll check out with Andrew.
Yeah, I had a good session. I've learned a lot. I guess the second half, I've always been kind of envious of people that work with people in person. I would do all my work remotely, other than in-person events. And I think with all this relationship talk that's gone on this afternoon, or sorry, this second half this morning, it feels like I'm a bit thankful for being online a bit more now. It sounds like a big complex situation it can get into. So I've learned a lot around that. And yeah, with the bit around David, with asking how the room felt and bits, there's a lot of, you realise how tough it is sometimes when you're put on the spot and asked a question about how you felt and how you've been the last so many weeks. And I know I struggle with it myself as well, so I felt that as well. Just a bit of, it's a tough question. It's an easy question to ask and an easy question to ask someone else, but it's a tough question to ask yourself sometimes. So well done for answering that, David. But yeah, I'm all good. I'm looking forward to this afternoon's one. And I'll tag in Anthony.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, checking out, feeling informed as always on these sessions. I guess it was good to understand, the role as a professional, the boundaries and the ethics, and I guess what I always find great, because I don't work in the industry, I just have lived experience, is, how amazing the other people in the container and what they're doing to help, it's quite an amazing thing. So I'm always in admiration on these sessions. And I will tag Dorette.
Thank you. I think I've learned today that you have to learn who you are coaching. You have to find out how they are feeling, how she is feeling. That it's important, to have boundaries, but it's also important to be able to keep your humor. I think it always helps me. And yeah, after today, I'm checking out quite positive. Looking forward for next week. And I take Olivia.
Thanks, Dorette. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Sorry I missed the first half of the sessions. I'm just a bit inquisitive about everything at the moment because I'm kind of missing half of the information. So I'll read up on the UACT code of practice, and that'll be my homework this week. I'll tag Tom.
Thanks, Olivia. I'm feeling really grateful. I really admire everybody's honesty, and I really appreciate people sharing vulnerabilities. And I'm learning so much as the week goes by to sit with that uncomfortableness sometimes, I think it's important to learn and experience that because it only gets easier the more you practice it, I think. So yeah, learning a lot and looking forward to this afternoon. I will tag in Megan.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I've loved today's session. I think we've got through quite a lot. like I said before, I really enjoy talking about like boundaries and stuff like that. I think the ethics, I found that really interesting, and to hear sort of different people's views on that sort of thing, and to how it was brought in, like the different sort of environments, like the nursery, university, rehab, all that. I thought that was really interesting. I'm checking out good. I've had a really nice time today. I like these sessions when I can get on to them. I find them really helpful in my like day-to-day life as well as work and that. So yeah, checking out good. I think, is that everyone?
David, did you check out?
Yes, I did. Thank you, David. I did.
Yeah, no, I know you did. I was just testing your wounded little boy about feeling left out. No, I'm joking. I missed that. All right, everyone. I enjoyed today. We're doing well on time. Thank you all. Thanks for allowing the recording to happen. What'll happen with this as well is we'll take the transcript from this, and then it feeds into our knowledge base, and then from that we can use that as a research piece to improve the professionalism of lived experience. So thank you all for contributing to this professional body of evidence.
Thank you, David.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks,
Thank you, David.
David.
Cheers.
See
Thank you,
those
guys.
of you in a couple of hours that are doing the systemic
Bye-bye.
wellness practitioner. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.